What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's your man, Tresvon Pratt with AIM, always improving the mind. And I told you guys that I'm going to be bringing you some more power people, man. This next guest that we got coming to the live, coming to the stage, he's in every sense of the word, man. He's a communal guy. He's out here in the community. He always challenges himself. I've seen his development, right? I've been privileged to be able to bear witness to his development from being a sole proprietor, being in the bacon industry to being a sole proprietor on his own. He's an entrepreneur, he's a father, and how open-minded this guy is just like unfathomable. I want this type of mentality for the world. That's how powerful this next guest of mine is to me. And I tell you, man, uh, without further ado, I want to go ahead and bring my guest on, Mr. Paul DeBerry.
Clapping and applause and everything, man. What's good? What's good, world? What
What's
y'all up to,
up?
man? How you doing?
Tell me something good, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, man. Life is good,
Life
man.
is good.
Every time we get the chance to wake up, man, that's a beautiful thing. So I would just say, man, just getting a little breath of air every single day, man. That's a beautiful
Mm,
way to start off the day.
yes, man. See what I'm saying? Keep it nice and light. You
Yeah.
know
We're
what I
gonna get
mean?
into it a little bit later, but yeah.
Yes, indeed. Everybody who is watching from Instagram, who's watching from Facebook, wherever else, come to YouTube and your comments will be shown. We'll be able to respond to your comments live. And you're gonna want to come to YouTube because it's about to be crazy. The gems, the knowledge, the wisdom. We're gonna get into the finances. Okay. This is something that my people especially need, right? And man, I want everybody to be able to get their questions answered. Any comments you got, any insight, I want to be able to see it. So please come over to YouTube if you're watching from Facebook or Instagram. If not, just enjoy the
Make
show.
sure y'all subscribe too.
Make sure y'all subscribe too. Yes, yes. Mr. Paulie D. Man, it's been a minute, man.
Yes,
I've
sir.
been I've been following your
Man, it's been a while
journey.
since I've been on the did the live streaming thing, man. It's been a little second, yo. I gotta brush the cobwebs off a little bit.
Yeah, man. I always bring people out of their not out of their shell. You haven't been in the shell, but you've been focused, man. I'll say you've been
Yes,
focused,
sir. Yes, sir.
you
Absolutely.
know. So without further ado, man, because I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I can't wait. I'm exhilarated over here because I'm so anxious about what
Yeah.
is about to unravel. So without further ado, let's go ahead and
Mm.
get into it. You with it?
Yes, sir, man. I'm always ready, man. I'm an open book. I'm ready to talk, yo.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So yes, Mr. Paul DeBerry, who are you? Who is Paul?
Man, that's a simple and complicated question at the same time, but the easiest way to break it down, man, I'm a father, son, brother, cousin, friend, and a man at
Mm,
the end of the day. But I guess who I am is I am exactly who I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be it.
mm.
I'm a little bit of a philosopher, so uh, that's the best way I could put it. All of the trials and tribulations, things I've been been through in my life have led me to be who I am right now. And I'm thankful for everything that I've been through because it molded me to be exactly where I need to be at right now and to be able to continue on with my mission and purpose, to carry through with what my dreams and goals are and aspirations are that I want to accomplish. So, that's, I would say in a nutshell, that's pretty much me, man.
So, the man said, I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be it. that mean
Mhm.
every that mean every level of growth has been intentional. That mean everything. If there's no, I said, what's my slogan? I say, if everything happens for a reason, then there's no such thing as a coincidence.
Coincidence. Yep. You do say that. Yeah, he say that. Yep, you say that.
You know what I mean? So you're a loving individual. You say you're nothing and everything at the same time. How do you bridge that? Like, ain't that like a battle?
Yeah. It's is to me that's a symbol of humbleness.
Mm.
So sometimes you gotta let yourself know, like, yo, hey, I ain't gonna cuss, but yo, I'm the ish. Sometimes you gotta build yourself up, but also sometimes you gotta be able to pull yourself back down too, and say, yo, like I still got a lot more work I gotta do on myself, and I still got a lot more to accomplish. So that's where I got the I am nothing and something, or you could say I'm nothing and everything at the same time. It's just
Mm.
that like the yin and yang of life. Just being able to build yourself up when you need to be able to build yourself, but also be able to humble yourself when you need to be humbled as well. Because one thing I do know, if you don't humble yourself, life will, man. You're gonna
Absolutely.
find a way to get humble.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. 1000% I agree.
I
Absolutely.
forgot I even said that. Sometimes I just come up with stuff and it just sound good, and I think about it. I'm like, yo, that's exactly what I feel or where I'm at in life. So we had a little talk previous to this, and I did say that, and I forgot to write that down too. I gotta make sure I write that too.
See, that's some advice I give everybody is write it down. Write it down. We can't trust to just remember all of our thoughts. Hey, 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 Mr. West. Mr.
Oh,
West.
Mr. West is in the building. What's
Man,
good, man?
talk about consistency and talk about power people. You're next.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that one.
You're next, Mr.
Wes is a
West.
powerful dude, man. He a
I'm,
powerful dude.
I'm gonna be reaching out to you very soon, my man. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for showing up and showing love, man. All love, man. So I can't wait. So yes, that's what I tell everybody. That's one of the mindset tricks is we can't leave everything to thought because we have an infinite amount of thoughts at all times, right? Like you can have 100,000
Hmm.
thoughts a day. So how can you trust that you're gonna be able to pick out the one thought that you had, hours ago that you'll be able to remember it clearly? Sometimes it works. Sometimes you could do certain things to jog your memory. I could teach you those too. I got a video on that. Make sure y'all go scroll the videos I've uploaded, right? And I teach you how to jog your memory a little bit. But on top of that, man, one of the best things you could do is just write it down. Write it down. Make a task list.
Hmm.
Me and Mr. DeBerry was just talking before we went live, and we ain't gonna have too many of these side conversations because we got to get into the mix. But we was having that conversation, and both of us was like, "Man, today has just been busy." But what you do? Write it down. I made a task list, and I can go back to that list and see what I've checked off for the day. That left my mind free from thinking of what I need to do, and I could just act on what I need to do. Hello?
Hmm. Yeah, that's very important, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all jot that down too.
You know what I mean? So, man, I'm ready to get the juice, bro. I'm ready to get all of
All right.
this. So
It's,
my next question for you, Mr. DeBerry, is what do you do? What is your passion? What is your purpose?
man, hey Trey, let me ask you a question. Speaking of writing stuff down, before I answer that, what's the difference you said between passion and purpose? And then I'm
All
gonna
right.
answer the question.
The difference between passion and purpose. Passions can be fulfilled, singularity that could be done, something that gives you fulfillment. And purpose is servitude, something that you do for others.
Hmm. All right, so I would say my purpose is in general just to help people. At the end of the day, if I had to narrow it down to one thing, it's to help people. I've always been like a helpful guy
Yeah.
my whole life. Um, and then when I think back on my dad and my granddad, and we'll kind of touch on a little bit more of the story in the background a little bit later. But I come from a family of giving to the community. Like it won't just about our family; it was about other families we could either help or bring in and take care of and things like that. So I just grew up in a space where it was just about helping others, from my grandparents to my parents and things like that. So I would say the purpose is to help people. How I do that, or my passion, is rebuilding men. So
Mm,
to touch on what I do, uh, I am the president and founder of Rebuilding Men Corporation, and I'm also a financial coach as well. And those
mm,
two things intertwine because I want to be able to help people in all aspects of life. I want to be able to help them physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and financially as well too. Like we need all of that to be well-rounded people in society today. So with the Rebuilding Men, it's uh, a a nonprofit that I started.
hmm
Shoot, it was I actually officially started in 2019, but well, I actually got started in 2019 and became official in 2022, February 2022. And I would say what Rebuilding Men is about one, helping men to become the best versions of ourselves. Like I said, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially,
All
touching
that.
on all of those different subjects, having meetings about that, having community workouts, all of these different things, but not just stopping there because it's
Mm,
not just about helping the men, it's about helping our community.
come on.
So, because I'm a man, it's easier for me to relate to other men, but we also do stuff out in the community workouts, things like that. We got community engagement, and then we also got things where we hold meetings where we get together business like or professional minded people, like minded people, positive people, put them in one setting. We share about what we do, anything motivational, inspirational, educational, and sharing those things amongst one another and seeing how we could come together and help each one of ourselves grow in whatever field or aspect that we're in. And then I think one of the most important things that we recently added with Rebuilding Men his co-ed meetings. Like,
Mm,
yo, we good, we men, we good all by ourselves, but we are forced when we together with our women. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Neo and Fabulous.
yeah.
But it's real though. So adding the co-ed meetings where we get men and women, in particular black men and black women, working on rebuilding the bond between us because if you look on social media, you can see a lot of uh black man this and you can see a lot of black woman that. And it seems
hmm
like we're trying to be divided right now, but my experiences out here in the world is not really like that. So just getting a bunch of like-minded people, men and women together in a space where we could discuss different topics that might be a little touchy or difficult to touch on, but figuring out a way where we can understand one another. But most importantly, how can we work together to build our communities or become better spouses for one
mm,
another to bring back the black family? So that's the rebuilding man part of it. And with the financial coaching, man, it's all about educating people on the basics of money management and what to do and how to utilize your money in the best form and fashion possible. So
Mm,
learning things like the different types of life insurances and how they work and operate so you can make a well-informed decision. Learning about different types of investments, learning what dividends are, learning what REITs are, and different things like that. Uh, learning about budgeting, learning about Rule of 72, how your money compounds. All of
mm,
these different things is things we should have learned about in high school, middle school, shoot, elementary school, really, and things I'm teaching my daughter and stuff like that. So
mm,
just giving the basics where you got a good fundamental understanding of how money works, and then you can utilize that in your everyday lives. And also when people start coming and talking to you about stuff, it don't sound like gibberish. You could tell if somebody trying to get something over on you or not, or you could
mhm.
tell if you know what they talking, you know what I'm saying? So just giving the basics that people got a general understanding so that way they can make well informed decisions for themselves and then possibly even take it further financially. So overall, those two things combined together to complete what I feel like my purpose is, which is really to help people become the best version of themselves possible, and most importantly, helping myself become the best version of myself possible.
There we go, man. There we
Mm.
go. That's what I'm talking about, man. I could do this all day. I could
I
do
like
that.
the little claps, man. That get me going, man.
Yeah, bro. You ain't your only biggest cheerleader. You feel me? So, you said a lot, man. You went financial coaching, right?
Yes,
With
sir.
financial coaching, uh, you offer life insurance and financial literacy, financial education towards, why certain things and uh, really just to improve our people. And then you got the nonprofit Rebuilding Men. Hello, shout out
Yeah,
Rebuilding
I see the
Men.
merch. I was gonna point it out in a little bit. I was gonna point it out.
We got Rebuilding Men. I love. This is one of the main nonprofits that AIM sponsors and works with. Um, from speaking engagements to community outreach to all of the things that are in store. Let me just list it out because it's so much that's being offered. Rebuilding Men does community work. We go out and help the elderly and those who might be less fortunate with things like landscaping and housework and food delivery and all of that type of stuff at no cost for these people, for the community.
Yeah,
We also do men's meetings. I love the men's meetings. They are powerful and it's amazing. I tell y'all here at AIM, what we say, you can't have community without communication.
without communication. Yeah,
You can't have community without communication. And every time the fellas get together and we finally speak, we're in a safe space to just let these things go. Like, like it's actually been difficult. It's actually been tough. Or no, it's been great because I learned this, and because of, with somebody else's story, I learned how to overcome, like it's just been amazing with the men's meetings, and we network with each other. And quite a few people have started businesses from coming to the men's meetings. Not only do we got the men's meetings, you got the co-ed meetings, which is
mhm.
even m- just as impactful, because all of these things that we're trying to be better men for, what's it usually towards?
All
The
women.
woman. Come
Yep.
on now. Come on now. So when you put the women in with the co-ed meeting, it makes us have to practice the things that we talk about, like being better listeners and communicators, being better providers. How are we providing? Like it's great that we make some money. I think every guy is going to make some money, right? That's the starting point of provision. Like, okay, regardless of what else, whatever I do, I got to make some money. We know that. That's That's checked and done. Okay, what else? You know? So
Mhm.
when we're in an open discussion where there's no judgment, there's no belittlement, we're not doing the whole debate and argue and you stupid and all of that. We're not doing that. We mature here. We actually having conversations to learn, like, okay, what is it that, I'm missing, or, like, what else, what can I learn? How could I improve from here? Right. So the co-ed meetings are dope. Not only that, but he has the youth program. Come on
Mm.
now. We
Yeah.
want to reach out to the youth as well, because they next up. They're the ones who's gonna, everything that we're doing now, all of the seeds that we planting now, they're the ones who got to eat that fruit. They're the
Hey,
ones who
real
got to
quick.
get that seed.
Real quick, Trey, let me jump in right here. So
Yeah.
with our youth programs, we actually postponed it temporarily right now.
Mhm.
The facility that we operating out of is currently being renovated.
Okay.
So we postponed it, but as I've been coming across and networking and building with other people, it's other people that have youth programs. So what we talking about is possibly merging with some of these other youth programs and working, coming together, because
Mhm.
some people already got youth programs that's already established. And instead of creating something new or building from the ground up, we got to learn to work together and help build up one another. So we might be plugging in with some other youth programs. So y'all just make sure y'all stay up to date with us on that. But we
Yeah.
do have, it definitely is what Trey talking about, everything about, getting back to the youth, because they
Mhm.
next up, they the next generation, and they're going to continue to push culture, push this world forward. And if we wanted to go in the right direction, man, we can't leave them and exclude them out.
Absolutely. And not only does, it's like every facet, every area. We talk about finances, we get together, we talk about real life stuff, and do and have curriculum for real life stuff to put things in work, put things in motion. We also mix and mingle with the women. Speaking of mix and mingle, every Thursday night now, he has the Thursday is the Rebuilding Men's Co-ed Night Out, and they're
Yeah,
doing
mix. I'll mix and mingle. Yeah. Hey, look, let me tell y'all something. Y'all want to see your boy turn up? Y'all come out today. We got karaoke night. Shout out to the Tipsy Crab. We partner with the Tipsy Crab every Thursday night. We had Tipsy Crab from 8 to about 12 o'clock. Karaoke night, mix and mingle, no pressure. You don't got to come out there and sing. It's better for me because I get to put on a concert for everybody. So, but we going out there having a good time. And since Trey going down the lineup, so Thursday nights we have our mix and mingle. Friday evenings we have our co-ed meetings. Saturday we have our men's meetings, and then I know Trey about to get ready to talk about Sunday. We
Yep.
got our community workout. So you want to go ahead and take over with that, Trey?
Yes, indeed. So
Uh,
every Sunday at 9 a.m., we do a community workout. It's a group workout, and it's for everybody of all ages, all sizes, all fit and shape. Okay. It's a challenge for everyone. We come out, and I tell everybody again, go and check the catalog, go and check the videos. One of the things I say is, if you want to, the quickest way to get your mind right is
get
to
your
do
body.
something physical, man. Do something physical. So if you feel like you're in a dark place, man, a good workout with good energy, good people outside in the sun, after that, you gonna just, I'm telling you, your mind automatically is gonna be, it's gonna open to all possibility of new opportunity, right? You're gonna find somebody that you can network with, somebody that you might feel comfortable enough to share your situation with, who might have some insight, who may have some resources for you. Come on, man, tap in. That's what Rebuilding Men is created for us, to have the resources to be able to look out for people in situations that most of us have been through. I know me and Paul done been through about the same amount of stuff. We done been through some things, man.
Yeah.
you know? So yeah, Sunday. So that's finances, that's emotion, that's community work, that's co-ed with the ladies, and that's fitness. You getting your body right, man. I mean, That's one. I haven't seen another nonprofit that's doing that type of motion.
And look,
So
and so what Trey's talking on is our community engagement program. So that's everything we do to engage with the community. Um, but we also got like the outreach stuff, like you said, in particular with our elders, man. I want to speak on that for just a hot second. This is
yeah.
probably one of the worst countries to grow old in. I
Mm,
feel like we're very individualistic and we've kind of gotten away, not kind of, we've gotten away from community.
absolutely.
I want to shout out my hometown, Detroit, man. Why I started this elder program is when my uncle passed away back in 2022, or it might be 20. Yeah, it was about 2022. He passed away. He was like the main caretaker for my grandmother,
Mm,
and so when he passed, I went up to Detroit, stayed up there for about like 2 weeks, man, and I saw how the whole block was pretty much coming together to take care of my grandmother. While our family got up there to be able to take care of her. And so just to see how every day somebody was coming by to take her trash out or something like that, cutting her yard for going to get groceries and things like that. It was somebody every day coming by to check on her because they knew she was home alone and she can't drive and things like that anymore. So when I
mhm,
went up there and I seen that, and in particular, it was an organization. I asked my grandmother what the name of the organization was, but she can't remember. But whatever organization is up in Detroit, Michigan, on the west side, um, it's a church, and every weekend, every Saturday, they would come by with a box full of food, like
mm,
Whole Foods, Publix, breads, all these different things, and come out and just drop it off to her because they knew she couldn't go out and get her own groceries free of charge. So
mm,
when I seen that, and I was like, "Yo, this is how it's supposed to be. It's
right.
supposed to be this way. It shouldn't just be the family taking care of it because what if somebody don't got family? Like the
Mhm,
community is supposed to come and uplift one another. So when I went up there and seen that, that changed my whole perspective of the direction I wanted to take. Well, not the whole perspective, but I knew what I wanted to add to Rebuild the Men
yeah.
and make sure our elders and the people that paved the way for us don't get forgotten about. Because at some point, God willing, we gonna be those elders. We gonna be those ones that might can't drive, that might can't cut our yard, that can't do our daily activities, and we gonna need somebody to come by and take care of us. And if our children is not around, who gonna take care of us, man?
Come on.
If people just sitting, it's some elders that's out there just sitting, rotting
Mm,
away, just waiting to die. And it
mm,
shouldn't be like that. When we got so many people that's all around her that don't check up on people. So I really wanted to speak on that elder program because that's one that's near and dear to my heart, along with our youth program. And then we also have our network and build event that we do
mm,
every quarter. That like I said, that's our like our big event. Man, shout out to my man James with the lab. Y'all make sure y'all go check him out as well, man. He hosts the space for us, and that's where we get the business minded, positive minded, professional, people that want to mingle with people that want to do better for themselves. We all get in one environment, share something motivational, inspirational, educational. We got guest speakers, we got raffles and giveaways.
mm,
We got games to play, good music, man. We have a good time, but just fostering an area where everybody can come together and let's talk about how what everybody's specific skill set is or thing that they bring to the table, and then you have your little small groups or whatever, and you just figure out how can we come together and help one another. So our network and build is
mm,
another thing. Then I can't forget this because we just had it yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. No, on Monday, excuse me. We got our kids event. So once a month, I try to host a kids event where the kids can do something for fun, free of charge, or $10 or under. That they can go out, man, just play, be kids, man.
yeah.
Some kids are in rough neighborhoods, areas where it's tough for them just to sit back and be a kid because they got to deal with real life stuff. So I'm trying to
Mhm,
create a space where you could get them out there, man. Let them jump around. I got a partnership with Sky Zone, so a lot of times our events are there. Uh, and we let the kids, 20 to 30 kids, jump for free for 2 hours and just let their hair down, man. Just have a good time being kids. So
Mm.
we also got our kids nights out as well too. So we really trying to get every level youth. You got our middle age, young adult, middle age, and then we also got our elders. So we just trying to make sure everybody got something that they can plug into or some need that's being taken care of.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope, man. I love it, love it, love it, man. We kind of rolled into my next question, but I'm gonna ask anyway. You said, matter of fact, my guests are always humble. I know he has a lot to offer. He's doing a lot, but there's still more. But wait, there's more. He
You silly,
also
man.
has he also has a podcast. Tell us about your
Oh
podcast.
man. Man, King of DeBerry's podcast. Of course you're gonna bring that up, right? So I got the King of DeBerry's podcast, man. It's a bunch of old content now, but Trey bringing it up because I just told him recently it's relaunching. We're gonna be in the
Mhm.
process of relaunching King of DeBerry's. The podcast, it started off actually before rebuilding men, but in the process of it, we're gonna get to that question in a little bit, so I don't want to give too much. But
Yeah.
um, I started King of DeBerry's podcast, and when I started it, it was just to overcome the fear of being judged.
Mm.
It's tough to put yourself out here in a public space a lot of time because a lot of people are afraid of the judgment and the criticism that comes along with putting yourself out there, opening up, and being vulnerable. So because I had that fear and I knew I had to overcome it, I thought, what's the best way to do it? Is that start a podcast. It just throw it out there. So if you look at a lot of my earlier work, it's all over the place. Like I got some stuff, uh, talking about my life philosophies and things I don't like and astrology and all of that stuff. But
Yeah.
as I continued on, I started finding my niche. And the niche is personal growth because in the midst of all the stuff I was talking, I will always find a way to tell you something that I learned from whatever scenario or thing that I was going through. So the King of the Berries podcast is going to be relaunching soon. I think I've been debating back and forth. I might start doing the lives again. I
Mm.
did like 3 months every day going live, and that's how I got my following and everything up. um, so I'm thinking about redoing that again, man, doing a live every day. So you just gotta make sure you stay tuned. I ain't even add that link in there too, Trey. I gotta add that link. But you could go follow that on Instagram at King of D Berries, KINGD King KINGOFDEBERRYS. So y'all make sure y'all go follow me on there as well too. So you can see when that relaunches.
Absolutely. Links in the description. Updated links will be in the description after the live and when the video posts. Also, King of DeBerries is on YouTube. Go ahead,
Mhm.
subscribe to YouTube, King of DeBerries podcast. Man.
Yeah. I
I
got a lot
love it.
going on. Dang, man.
I love it, man. I
Yeah.
love it. You have the fact that you're capable of upholding so much is amazing. And I jotted this down where you said you started the podcast to overcome the fear of being judged.
Mm,
This is one of the things I wanted to highlight about this man right here because he challenges himself when he acknowledges that there's something that might be holding me back. There's something that I'm hesitant towards. There's something that I didn't do. Instead of sitting in regret and shame and doubt, he challenges himself to step up above it every time. Like he's a introvert, but
yeah.
he talks just as much as I do, if not more, to more people as I do. Y'all,
Uh,
if y'all know me in real life, y'all know how I do.
uh, Yo, Mr. Popular right here. Yeah.
That's you. You know what I mean? So, like, I just wanted to highlight that real quick. Like, don't let your fears, insecurities, worries, doubts, none of that stop you. That's why we always improving. There's always something that you could do better. There's always
Mhm.
something that you could do better. Acknowledge your greatness along the way, but you're always improving as you go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I just wanted to highlight that real quick. So, Mr. DeBerry, man, you do a lot as we've covered. You're a father, right? You have a beautiful baby
Mhm.
girl. You're a financial coach. We're gonna tap into that.
She ain't a baby.
You
Hey, look, Trey, she ain't a baby no more. You can't say that around her. I got to correct that.
gotta correct.
She ain't a baby. 9 going on 19. Yeah,
She don't want that. Like, take that baby off of me.
yeah, yeah. We got to dress her correctly.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
They always babies in my eyes. I got my little niece, man. She just as tall as me now. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And I was like, "You
good
still a
gracious.
baby." Like, I
Uh,
understand when adults used to come to me like, I changed your diapers. I'm like, "Yeah, great." But now I'm
oh
looking
man,
at my niece like, "Yo, I changed your diapers." It's
yeah,
crazy. It's
uh-huh.
crazy.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
true. Yeah.
Not only that, but he's also a podcaster and a creator of this wonderful nonprofit. So, Paul, what was what was the aha moment? What led you to each one of these things? What led you to, you know, the financial? Let's start in the financial realm. What led you to finances?
Mm. I, I'm gonna preference it with all of those things came from childhood. And I gotta make sure I pay respect to my parents, my grandparents, and my family because
Much love.
they instilled discipline in me. They
Mm,
instilled gratitude and things like that. And my upbringing really was the biggest factor in all of those things.
mm,
Uh, the fact that I always wanted to challenge myself to become better. Uh, that was I can't say what sparked that, but it's just I know my childhood. Every time I like, every time I went to a different grade, elementary school, I wanted to be like the coolest kid, and
yeah.
then I was well known in elementary school. Then middle school, man, if y'all go check out my old Kinkity Berries, I might gotta laugh about that. Middle school, I went to a diverse elementary school and then went to an all black middle school. So I'm wearing Pokemon shirts and shirts with all these graphics on it and getting roasted like hell. So now I'm like, okay, I got to learn how to readjust now. So I learned how to readjust and still be the same me, but kind of reinvent myself
Hmm.
to accomplish whatever I wanted to accomplish. So middle school, I just didn't want to keep getting picked on. So I learned, I like, what's the fashion? What I see people wearing. Okay, let me get that. So I was the trend follower at first. I ain't even going front, but I knew
Hmm.
that's why I had to dress like that to become as well known as I wanted to be. So I just start picking up on different habits and things like that. So, doing that. Then high school, I didn't go to the high school I was supposed to go to because my goal back then, I wanted to get all the girls I could. So I was like, if I go to it, I already know some girls at this school, middle school, and this high school. I need to go to another high school so I can have more girls and double the amount
Mhm.
of girls. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been looking to progress, and then as I got older, I took that same progress and did it to more constructive things than just women and trying to be cool. I did it towards how can I be the best version of myself possible? How can I you know make more money? How can I help more people? How can I get more businesses done? How can I, when I was working a 9 to 5, how can I be the best employee I possibly can? That
Yeah.
same mindset shifted over to that, and that leads into the finance. When I was working in the banking industry, I was a manager at a pretty prominent bank, and I had been working there for like 8 years. a gentleman who was a mentor of mine and ended up becoming more like a brother to me,
Mm-hmm.
introduced me to some financial concepts
Mm.
that I wasn't aware of. And the funny part was he worked in banking as well, the same bank I worked with. And he was like, man, they're not gonna tell people these concepts because the bank's not gonna make money on it. They're not gonna tell people about Fed fund rates and how banks
Mm.
is exchanging your money. That's the reason why if you deposit a check, it take a day to clear because they want to loan it off to another bank and make more interest on it before they give you your money. They ain't gonna tell you that, you know, they charge you these crazy loans of the interest amounts, but they only give you 0.01% on your savings. But if you go directly to the treasury, you could get 4, 5, 6%. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You do mutual funds. They don't teach you about ETFs and things like that because they want to keep all your money because they can make the money off of it and they give you little crumbs. And so when he introduced some of these concepts and stuff to me that I worked in the bank and I didn't even know, I was like, oh, hold on a second. Like, something not adding up now. Something not adding up. So I had still continued to work at a bank for a couple of years, but it got to a point where I was making just as much money outside of working on the bank at the bank as I was in the bank. And I just I didn't feel like I was fulfilling my purpose of helping people the way I wanted to at the bank. I was doing a lot of stuff I wasn't supposed to do because that I knew that was right in my heart. I know banks don't want you to refund fees and stuff like that, but I was like, okay, this guy comes in, he got $100,000, and he complained about a cashier check fee or something, $10. We take care of that for them, no cost. Like, it's good. Like, we want to maintain that relationship. But the lady that's coming in, she need to pay her rent with the money order cashier's check, and she don't got the $10 to pay the fee. You don't want me to waive the fee. She got to go out there and find the $10 to pay her rent, and this
Mm.
all the money she got. It don't
Mm.
make sense to me.
Mm.
It don't make sense, and it never sat right with me. It never sat right in my spirit, and it was tough for me when I couldn't do nothing. It used to bother me. It used to
Oh.
bother me, and so when I got to the point where I was ready to step out and start working for myself, I did it enthusiastically because I knew I was going to be working in my purpose 100%. And so I would say the aha moment or the moment for the financial services was me meeting my homeboy, man. Shout out my man Kenneth Taylor out there. He introduced me to these financial concepts and everything. And from there, man, I just never could think of the banking industry the same. And that's when I wanted to start teaching these concepts because it's helped me with attaining some of the things that I've obtained in my life and get to where I was and am financially. And I'm just thankful. And also, not even just where I was and am. We're gonna get to my story a little bit later, a little bit more later. But um, making the money, but then losing it all, and then building
Mm.
it back up again because I got the knowledge of what to do, even if I didn't have the money. You know what I'm saying? I knew where to put my money at to try to make it work a little bit better for me. I knew about budgeting and things like that that helped me get out of the holes that I might would have put myself in too. And so I just really thankful, and that's where I guess that moment came in for the financial coaching for me.
Mm. See what I'm saying? That's what led you into the financial coaching. That's crazy. Like, I hope y'all taking notes. Because he dropped a lot of gems about the federal exchange rate, why the banks have to wait a day to clear your check, and that wouldn't sit right with me either, man. To watch somebody who's struggling doing all of what they can. Here we
Look,
are with the capability to help, and we like no over a small amount of money. We gon'
bro, let me tell you something, man. People used to come in with big checks and they like, yo, we gotta put a hold on it. 7 days, like
mm,
5 to 7 business days. Like, yo, that's like 2 weeks. People gotta wait for their money, man. Like, and a lot of these people need the money. And a lot of times they'll say, oh, it's nothing we could do, but there's always something you could do. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Like, they just don't want to do it. And like
Mm.
I've been pulled. I didn't work magic before at the bank for people, and there's a lot of people. You know, I had a great reputation with the bank that I worked for, and I, not to toot my own horn, but I was loved by a lot of customers. They called me I was the customer service guy. Any branch that need, an uplift in customer service, they send me over
Mhm.
there. Boom, it's changing because I want to help people. I want to help my coworkers. I want to help the customers that's coming in. But a lot of times, man, they'll tell you they can't do something, but they ain't even really try. Like, at least I'm gonna
Mhm.
try for you. And 9 times out of 10, I could do something for you. It might not be exactly what you want, but I could do something for you. A lot of times, them long holes, I found a way to shorten it to maybe like 2 days, and people
Mhm.
was cool with that. But it's a it's a wild industry. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want no beef with the. I don't want no trouble with the banks. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, but that's the reason why you went out on your own, and now you do life insurance and investments, and you're also building a team.
yes,
Tell us
sir.
about what you got going on in that area.
So right now, man, because I'm so busy with rebuilding men, because that's my number one focus, and what I'm doing with the financial service goes in the scope of it, but the money I make from that really goes towards funding and rebuilding men. I'm just
Mhm.
looking to teach and educate more people on the industry. A lot of people think you got to have like fancy degrees, and you got to go to like some prestigious school to get into the financial service industry. No, you don't. You just got to be able to study and pass a test and get your licenses. You know what I'm saying? You got a life insurance license, just like real estate. Anybody can go. Well, I can't say anybody. I don't know how it is with real estate, but with the financial service industry, if you do have a felony, it's a lot tougher. I don't think it's impossible, but it's very tough to get in there with felonies. But outside of that, um, all you gotta be able to do is be able to pass some tests and be able to study, get your licenses, and then you can start helping people with financial products and just getting with the right company and organizations. But what I'm looking for now, man, is just people that want to learn how to learn the financial industry themselves so they can help themselves because that's what I did first. Help get myself out of debt, then at the time when I
Mhm.
first started doing the financial coaching, I was able to take the money I made and put that towards a down payment for a house to be
Mm.
able to purchase my first house and be able to do a real dope trip with my dad and be able to take care of all the expenses and everything for that. So you know, I'm looking to for people that want to help themselves, and then once they see how much it helps themselves, they'll be able to go out and share the information with people that they love and care about. So that's what I'm doing as far as the building the team and everything because I'm just so busy now. I need to be able to outsource stuff. And
Mhm.
then also I want with the life insurance and investment, the main purpose is to educate, like
Mm.
make sure people understand the different types of life insurances, how they work, so they can make an informed decision for themselves on
Yeah.
what they want to or what will be best for their families. Um, I have my own thoughts and opinions,
Yeah.
but I make sure that I try to be as unbiased as I can, as far as delivering the information, so that people can really make a decision for themselves and see what works best for them, and what operates best. Because a lot of the if you look at a lot of the experts, um, they'll tell you the which type of life insurance is best for people. But a lot of times, because I'm trying to be real cautious, you know what I'm saying? But
It's not
but a
financial
lot of
advice, by the
times,
way.
a lot of other types of life insurance get pushed on people because that's what salesmen are able to make the most money out of. So
Mm.
you just got. It's really important to be knowledgeable of what you're getting, how it works, how it operates, and don't be afraid to ask your salesman too, like what's the benefit in it for you. I'm
Mhm.
upfront with all this stuff. Like, and the same thing with investments, making sure you're aware of your options and stuff like that. When it comes to investment, man, I really try to promote and push people to become knowledgeable themselves because I am going to get a commission if you do some type of insurance with me. But if you could save that commission and be able to have the knowledge to do the different types of investments yourselves, you could save that money. But not only are you saving that money, that's more money that you could invest for yourself that could compound into more money over time. Now, if you don't
Absolutely.
want to take the time to do the research and you like, yo, like you the expert, Paul, here you go. Hey, I got you. But I really try. My thing is really trying to make sure I educate and inform people so they feel comfortable about whatever decision because they know exactly what's going on.
Absolutely. Now, for me, I could tell you, I could personally back that up because I have my life insurance. One of my policies is through Mr. Paul. I have multiple policies um, because my family is going to be taken care of. I got tired of my family alone fighting and bickering over the scraps that was left after a
Mm-hmm.
funeral. If we were able to cover all of the necessities for the funeral to be had. It's been too many times that we can't even grieve our loved ones because we got to figure out how to make this happen as quick as possible from an untimely, unexpected, loss of a family member, right? And I said, that's one of them generational curses that ends with me, so I got a policy, and I honestly could tell you I got way more than what I expected to have to pay.
Uh-huh.
And I love it. I appreciate it. And I feel, as a man, I feel even more secure in the fact that I'll still be able to provide something even when I'm gone.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He
You
was a
know what
great client, man. We had a good time when we
I
talked
mean?
about
Yeah, yeah, he does a wonderful presentation. He is unbiased. He let me know different options, allowed me to choose. I had time to think it over. All of the above, man. He's not like a in your face, like do this right now, sign, sign. It's not that type
it.
of sale. You know what I mean?
Man, that don't work, man. That don't work for me. It don't work.
That don't work. And I also say this about as I used to one of these myths of money. We're gonna cover that another time. Um, I used to think that the salesman was a con artist. Why did I think that? That's because
Mm.
the back when I was paying attention to him, a salesman, a hustler, I could sell water to a well. Well, a well doesn't need water. It might need something else. You know what I'm saying? Like why why would I sell you
Yeah.
something that I don't that you don't need? And one of the main things is for me, because I'm now a seller. Shout out Shine. All right.
Oh yeah, yeah. Gotta get your shine on.
Get your shine on. I'm not going to sell you something that I do not see is valuable for you or that you don't see as valuable for you. I've sold things to people. If they find value in it, then I can make it happen for you, right? But I'm still going to educate you and guide you to what might work for you better. Like I don't want you to spend your last dollar on something that ain't gonna make you money back and you got a family. Like I ain't gonna I'm not that. And brother Paul is similar with that mentality. He's not out to scam you, he's not out to rob you, he's not only looking out for himself. He's genuinely looking out for you and wants you to make the best possible decision for you and your family.
Absolutely, man. Because I care about people, man, and I don't want nobody. I don't want nobody coming back looking for me later. You know what I'm saying? So look, if you don't want it, you don't want it. I'm not gonna push the issue for you to be coming back. Like, yo, you said this and you said, nah, we ain't doing that. And I'm proud to say, man, I got a really good retention rate far
Yeah,
as like clients and stuff like that. Because for real, my clients is like friends and family, and that's
yeah,
how it should be. Anybody want to get in contact with me, they'll be able to get in contact with me. So that's my whole philosophy with that, man. Like your clients should become like friends and family to you.
absolutely. I love it, man. I love it. That's the finances. That's how you got into the finances. You was in the baking industry. Somebody, your mentor, taught you some things that the banking industry was not teaching you, and you ended up, I got to give this to the people. I learned you learned some things. Was like, why am I not learning this here? And it's like, yo, I don't like being unfair and unreasonable. So this is what I'm gonna do. That's your finances. And anybody's looking for any financial coaching, uh, thoughts on investing, um, life insurance inquiries, anything. If you have any like financial questions, inquiries, this your man, Mr. Paul DeBerry, is the financial coach.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uh, I stand behind him. Hey, and I'm doing pretty good. So, so Mr. DeBerry, what was the aha moment for rebuilding men? I know we talked about uh, the aha moment that led you to the addition of the elderly outreach part of your structure. But what was the aha moment that led you to creating rebuilding men?
Yeah, man. So this moment led to Rebuilding Man and King of the Berries.
Yeah.
I was married. Man, shout out to my daughter's mom, or my ex-wife. But I was married. Y'all don't mind me. I'm silly. I'll be playing. But no, but for real though. But shout out to her. And the reason why is all this started from her deciding that she didn't want to continue on with our marriage, and
Mm,
I would say that's probably the lowest point of my life,
mm,
and the most difficult and the most angry I have probably ever been in my life. Uh, I was going through a lot of different emotions, and the reason why I felt like I failed my family.
mm,
I felt like I had put my me being a husband and a father was me. And when you
yeah.
take that away from me, when you take away me being a full time dad, and when you take away me being a husband, because my parents are still married. My grandparents, on my mom's side, was married to my grandfather passed. The only
Mm,
person I knew personally that went through a divorce was my grandmother on my dad's side. So I wasn't used to divorce. So I'm like, yo, why am I the one that got to go through all of this?
yeah.
But I realized, I realized for me, man, and like what Trey say, it's like I've learned to find beauty in the pain. And
Mm,
what I mean is that, man, it's something that's meant for you to learn through every situation. And so me going through that divorce and one accepting the emotions that I was feeling. I was angry.
come
She
on.
was moving on, and I was ready to, who you talking to? Who you dealing with? Like, yo, let me pull up. I was wilding out for like a good 2 months afterwards. It was a good 2 months. I was wilding. I lost about 15 pounds because I
Mm,
won't eating. I was staying up all night. I couldn't sleep. I was restless. And this message is for somebody out there.
yeah.
It's a point where you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that's
Mm,
when everything changed for me. I got tired of
mm,
not sleeping. I got tired of always worrying about what she was doing. I got
yeah.
tired of, you know, like not eating, and I got tired of lying to everybody saying everything is good because then nobody know we was going through it. I was
Yeah.
just lying, you know what I'm saying? Like I just got tired of it, and I was like, man, F it, yo, this is my situation now. Paul, what are you going to do about it? What are you
Yeah.
going to do? And that's the question. A lot of people got to ask themselves. They got to realize where you at. And now, once you realize and accept where you at, now what are your next steps? What are you going to do? And it was crazy because as I started working, finding ways to work on myself on my own, uh, me and her had a talk, and we decided we would go to marriage counseling and see if we could try to reconcile this thing. And we went to 2 sessions together, and she was like, "Nah, I do want to, step away. I want to proceed with everything." And
Mm,
I had learned and enjoyed the counseling session so much. Shout out to Miss Anita Stoudemire. Um,
yes.
she was our marriage counselor. when she stopped showing up, I kept going, and it ended up becoming therapy for me. And what I realized is a lot of the issues and problems and things that was going on in my relationship and how I was feeling about myself really stem from things I went through in childhood, and then things I just couldn't appreciate about myself. Like one of the things is, and this, I'm speaking to my fellas or anybody that's going through this situation. One of the things is you might be afraid you're not going to get a better person than the person you had. And I just
Mm.
want to tell people that you can't operate out of stage of fear, man. You got to learn how to overcome those fears. One of the reasons I was like, man, I'm afraid some dude gonna come in and my daughter's gonna, like stuff gonna happen with my daughter and things like that. I had a crazy mindset, and I had to learn to adjust and switch my mindset, my perspective to a
Mm.
better one. And that's where King of DeBerry's far as me learning how to get out my comfort zones and me learning to express myself more came from. And that's where Rebuilding Men came from, because the curriculum that I got laid out, spirit,
Uh, yo.
networking,
Hold on, hold
all of
on.
those things, mental and physical health, all of those things was things that I focused on to help better myself and to get myself in a better place, man. And I had to learn how to overcome a lot of the fears that I had, that I just wasn't enough. I wasn't good enough. Like
Mm.
I'm sitting here worried about what another person doing, and that person out enjoying their life, and I'm sitting at home stressing about what they doing. It don't make sense. It don't make sense when you sit back and really think about it. If that person out doing what they, and they told you they want to move on, and they want to, they don't want to pursue the relationship no more, and they going out enjoying your life, who hurting when you sitting there worrying about what they doing all the time?
Mm.
And I had to check myself. I'd be like, "Yo, Paul, she out here enjoying her life. Paul, you need to figure out what you need to do to enjoy your life and make your life better for yourself, and realize how can I make the best out of this situation." And that was a consistent journey, but that was the aha moment. I got to a point where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired,
Mm.
and I got tired of worrying about what somebody else is doing all the time. I got tired of worrying about um you know, am I gonna be good enough? Who am I gonna find? Who gonna want me? I got tired of like just feeling like I want enough, man. And I started doing some of the tips out there for people as well. I started writing down affirmations about maybe not how I felt at the moment, but who I wanted to become. I wanted to become
Mm.
more confident. I wanted to be um, stronger mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. I wanted to make more money. So I wrote all these affirmations that, and I used to write them 3 times a day,
Mm.
3 times, morning, afternoon, evening. And I got a journal. Anybody, I keep it with me just to remind myself. So if anybody want to see me and they see me with my black book bag on, in there I got the journal. I can show you that a whole journal, a whole book, and I got 3 books that I went through with that. So like writing the affirmation is learning about meditation, learning how to breathe and meditation and things like that. Shout out to Trey for introducing me to Libby Hill Park, where we have our workouts, going out there and working out. Like he said, that's the one of the quickest ways is to change your body. And for me, I was an athlete.
Yeah,
It's like I say, it's beauty in the pain. Trey will tell you I would go out there and work myself halfway to death, where I couldn't even
man.
move. But it was a peaceful place, because now as I'm out there laid out like this, and I'm just breathing, I gotta slow everything down. I'm in so much physical pain, I can't think about the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And so I see why a lot of people, bodybuilders and stuff like that, a lot of that stems from a breakup. And I get it, because you working that pain off. You know what I'm saying? You working the pain off. And then you learn to transition that into something more healthy and conducive to you. But then we
Mm.
got to take it a step further. We got to also learn how to overcome it and learn how to forgive and things like that. So all
Absolutely.
that to say, that was the aha moment for me with Rebuilding Men, is going through that point. 'Cause me and Trey had talked about this before, but when I dove into that question a little bit deeper, the aha moment was, I don't know what day it was, but it was a day I was like, man, I'm tired of staying up all night.
Mm.
I'm tired of, you know what I'm saying? I was, I ain't ashamed to say, I was on some wild stuff. I'm tired of driving by her house at night just to see if I don't recognize a car. You know what I'm saying? Make sure ain't nobody over there because I was going to roll up in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like, oh, man. I like, so you going to roll up, you going to do something to somebody else or they going to do something to you. And then what? She
Then
still
what?
got to live her life. You know what I'm saying? And now you done took a father away from their daughter now. You know what I'm saying? You done took yourself away from your daughter. Do that
Mm.
make sense? Over somebody that don't want you. If
Mm.
anything, and this another little, man, shoot, y'all got me in my bag now. You know what I'm saying? This is another little thing, man. If somebody don't want you, that's a good thing because now they don't keep wasting your time.
Yeah.
They don't keep wasting your time. Now you could go find somebody that do want you,
Mm.
that do want to be with you, that want to do the things that you need done to help you in a relationship
Appreciate
and vice versa. Instead of wasting time with somebody that don't want you, or that don't
you.
want to do what they need to do for you. It's harsh and it's easier said than done. But when you realize that, and that's helped me because I've been in two relationships since then,
Mm.
and great relationships, amazing. Well, obviously it didn't last. So when it didn't last, it's not that it became easier. It's not
Mm.
that it was easy. It became easier to overcome it because I got the mindset like, yo, what's for me is for me, and what's not is not. And I can't control what somebody else do or what somebody else wants, but I could
Yeah.
control me and what I do and what I want. And that was the focus. So, you know, um, I wanted to leave that little message as well, man. If somebody don't want you, whether it's a relationship, a friendship, or whatever, when they tell you that, that's a good thing because now you create space for things that's for you instead of something that don't want you or that's not for you.
Boom, boom. There we go with Quan. Quan like to stir the pot on some stuff. Said, can we hear something about FMF? Nothing messy, of course, but that was important to development. That's behind the scenes as well. And I got a two part. First and foremost, I want to shout out King of DeBerry's podcast because King of DeBerry's podcast sparked the ignition for all of this other stuff that we see, for FMF podcast, for AIM being on YouTube and bringing y'all content, for us being here right now. King of D Barry's podcast sparked a lot of that stuff. Shout
Mm.
out to FMF podcast. Y'all can still go subscribe to that channel. We on a hiatus. That's why nothing has been mentioned. Everybody got stuff that's going on. And shout out to the guys in FMF podcast. That
Absolutely.
was a part of the development. But before we speak on that, I want to cater to you, Paul, towards the rebuilding men segment. There was something specific, a detail where you started to seek, you started to search after you got sick and tired, and it wasn't just about relationships no more. You
Mm.
started to search what happened in that within that time frame that honed in to made you focus on the fellas.
Man, this guy Trey is good. Um, as I was going through my therapy and everything, I realized like, I want to be around people that's going through something similar that I went through. And I remember I went to like Eventbrite or Facebook groups and stuff.
Hmm.
I tried to type in like divorced men or something, and
Yeah.
it was only one group that came up, and it was just a bunch of guys sitting at the bar, and it looked like they were just hollering at women and stuff. And I was like, yo, that's That's not that's not it, man. That's not it. That's not gonna work for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to sit down and talk to somebody. And
Right.
so actually, I'm glad you brought it up, Trey. That was the moment where I realized, well, if it's not there, I need to create it. Because
Mm.
I know I'm not the only person out here that feels that way. And so I started rebuilding men, like I say, I think it was January of 2019. And
Mm.
I remember going through the meetings, and I wasn't even really serious, but I had made a commitment to my therapist when I told her about it. She was like, "That was a great idea, and you need to go forward with it." So I kept going. I went forward with it because I made the commitment to myself and to the therapist, but I didn't really take it as serious as I should. So all I would do is throw up a like an Instagram story like the day before or
Mhm.
something and say, "Hey, rebuild a men group at such and such, come
Yeah.
out." And that was it. And for about, I would say, about 6 months, I didn't have anybody attend the meeting. Um,
Yeah.
One, I didn't do a great job of promoting it, but I think also too, I wasn't mentally ready. Because I was just winging it. You know what I'm saying? But the good thing about it is I put the meeting up and I committed to the time that I said I was going to be there. And during that time, I would write down stuff. Oh, this is what I want to talk about. This is what I want to do. And then I would go through the information as if I was presenting it to a room of people, but it's just me and myself. But I was practicing it. I was practicing and getting used to speaking to people in my head and just using my imagination. So that was the great thing about having that time frame when nobody showed up, because it was really a lot of practice for me. But the first person to show up, of course, is this guy right here, man. Mr. Trayvon Pratt. He came out, man, and we had our talk. And he was like, "Man, we need more people." And Trey is a guy. He gonna push you to get more done. So he's like, "Yo, you need to do this and do this." And I'm like, "Yo, okay, all right." Yeah." So then the next meeting, we had about 3 or 4 people, and they was all people that came because of Trey. And then after that, we had like 6, 7, or 8 people, and then
Mhm.
as after that, man, it just kept rolling on and kept rolling on. And I'm just really thankful for this brother for doing that, but also through our talks and everything and just life experiences, I also realize it's one thing to be able to talk to people, but you
Mhm.
got to be able to provide something for them as well too. So, we got a resource list for like people that's dealing with like homelessness and things like that. And then
Mhm.
also that's where the curriculum came in at, because yeah, we talked about this stuff, but now what, how are you going to work on yourself mentally and emotionally, physically, and all of these things? So that's where the curriculum came in at, where we speak on certain subjects like spirituality, and then
Mm.
we go around the room and share, well, this is how I go about keeping my spirituality up or my spirits up or whatever. I meditate, walk in nature. So now you hear different people and what they do to help them get to where they're at. And
Mhm.
I think that's been a great addition to what we're doing with Rebuilding Men.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's what I'm talking about, man. Much love to everybody who's still chiming in, who's still watching. Uh, Mr. Paulie DeBerry, can I ask you a question?
What's up? What we got?
All right. If you were if you were broadcast on a live in front of an audience of 1 billion viewers, what would be your one message you would like to share with the world?
Hmm. I'll say, oh, real quick before I answer that question too, man. I want to say shout out to the FMF gang too, man. Shout out Keith, man. You've been doing
Yeah,
a great job, man. We got Trey, we got
yeah.
AJ, Mr. Engaged.
Engage, bro.
So say,
Engage.
yeah,
Hold on,
I
hold
know it's
on.
wild, yeah, man. Shout out to the beautiful couple, man, and everything, man. It's all love, I feel comfortable and everything like that, yo. So, it's nothing but love. So I want to make sure I put that out there as well.
Absolutely.
But the message I would say is, man, we gotta learn to love, man. Like
Mm,
we gotta learn to love one another, but most importantly, we need to learn to love ourselves.
come on now.
I think that's a big thing that we got so much technology out here. We got so many distractions that
Ask
a
yourself.
lot of times it's hard to focus on yourself.
Mm,
And you got work. If you got kids, you got kids. If you got a spouse, you got spouses. You got family, things like that, man. You gotta learn to love and take care of yourself first. but then also to learn and take to love and take care of others. I think um as I've been reflecting on that question, a way to be able to learn to love others is when you learn to, or when you start having conversations and you learn to see yourself within that person. You know what I'm saying? Or this a better way. I don't know. At Rebuilding Men, two things we don't push is politics. We don't push political parties, and also religion. We don't push a particular religion. But
Mm.
if you're a believer of God, we start to see the God in other people.
Yeah.
It's hard for me not to love people. You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
Um, it's hard for me not to respect people and things like that. So I think learning to love one another, learning to love yourself, and looking out for one another and ourselves, man. Getting back to the community. Yes, we got to be individualistic sometimes. Individualistic. I got it that time. We have to learn to be that sometimes. But we also can't forget about community.
Come
Can't
on.
forget, and it's more than just your family. It takes a village to raise children. So
Mm.
man, shout out to the fellas, man. Like when I would come out there and bring my daughter out to the workouts back in the
Yeah.
days, man. Everybody be looking out for us. We looking out for the kids, man. If y'all go check out my Facebook page, you'll see all these missing kids out here.
Mm.
And that's what I mean by getting back to community, man. I don't know if people was around when these things happen, but a lot of times we'll be like, "Oh, that's not our kid." You know what I'm saying? And I get it. It's not saying that you gotta put yourself in danger or harm's way all the time. But if you're able to do something, you should do something for your community.
Yeah,
If you're able to
absolutely.
do something to help somebody, you should do it. It's if you feel like your life is in danger and you don't want to do that, that's different. But if you got the means and the ability to help somebody, and just because, oh, that's not my family, I'm not going to do that. That's why in particular the black community is falling apart, because that's how we start to think. We looking at our brother like an enemy. That's why we just run around shooting them dead out here. We
Mm.
beating them up and fighting and stuff like that. We got to get back to working together as a community, and that start with the love, man. Learning to love ourselves first and love one another, because it's going to be hard for you to love somebody else if you can't love yourself first.
Come
So
on,
learning to
man.
love yourself first, and then taking that love that you give to yourself and just spreading that out to the world, man. That's the message that I want to push.
Unconditional love. Now, uh,
Unconditional.
you had told me behind the scenes that you was you had to learn to be lovable instead of loving. Can you explain
Mm.
the difference between those two?
So the way I broke it down is lovable is it's more doing because you want something back. You know what I'm saying? It's 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 a singular action. You did something that's lovable. Love. I'm sorry.
Was
Loving is a
loving.
singular action. So that's you're doing something to get something in return. Excuse me, I got it
Mm.
mixed up. So loving is something you're doing something to get something in return. You're in the process of doing it.
Mm.
Lovable is just this is who I am.
Mm.
This is what I'm giving to you. It don't matter if it come back to me or not. This is just who I am. I'm just lovable. I love people. I love you. It don't matter how you feel about me. Like
You're
I
right.
love you. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this because I love you. I'm not doing it because I want something in return. Loving is more so like it's more so like a doing something to get something in return. It's the only way. The way I can put it. I'm being loving to get something back in return. That's the
Mhm.
way I said it a lot smoother when I was talking to Trey the first time. But in a nutshell, though, that's what I say about lovable. It's just you just exude love, like you just
Mm.
exude it and you giving it out freely. And I feel like as I learned to become more lovable, so much has started coming back to me, man, that I'm just so thankful, especially over the last like week, man, with us really pushing rebuilding man and expanding it out
Mhm.
and doing more in the community, becoming even me putting more work into it. It's just been coming back full circle, man, and I'm just so thankful and just proud of everybody that's involved with rebuilding men, and I'm just so excited about where we're heading, and and yeah, man, to learn to be lovable.
Learn to be lovable instead of the action of loving. Loving could
Mm,
have different intentions. You see where people use loving and kindness and use that as an advantage to be able to assuage people into doing certain things or being a certain way or to be seen.
mhm,
Loving could be a mask, but being lovable, I am love. And I
mhm.
tell people, bro, it's not a brag, it's
Yeah.
not me being cocky when I say there's no way that you will stay in my presence and not love me. There's no way. If you
Uh,
don't love me, you
yeah.
will be out of my presence. Something will take you out
Mm,
of my presence, whether you will feel as though you have to leave, right? I can't even be around this guy or whatever. You get a call, something like God won't allow it, you know what I mean? Because I am love. If you are in my presence, you have no choice but to love me. And that's because I love myself too much to allow anything other. And I love you just because I accept you for who you are, and
mhm.
that's a tough concept for a lot of people, a lot of my guys, but I'm relentless about it, man. I don't almost that had to knuckle up behind this concept. And it's like, yo, I understand in this day and age, it's like, I don't know. I can't like, but
People
you feel when it's right.
people view that as a weakness. People viewing being loving and lovable as a weakness. And I think, and for me, I feel like being lovable is a strength. Um, like you said, the person you have the number one obligation to be lovable to or to love is yourself. So even though I might love you, I'm gonna keep my distance from you because you're doing stuff that could jeopardize me, and I can't have that. If you're coming and attacking me, I
Right.
would defend myself because I love me. I want to protect my life.
Thank
So
you.
I might, beat you up, but it's because of self defense. It's not that I don't love you. You know what I'm saying? Or it's not that I don't respect you as a man, but if you coming at me a certain way, I gotta defend myself because I love myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do what it takes for me to get back to my family and everything. But that don't necessarily mean it's something against you. I'm just
Exactly.
responding to it. And you know what I'm saying? So I
Come
think
on.
people got it twisted up where it's like it's supposed to be turned the other cheek. Oh, I love you. Just beat me up. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Oh, I
right.
love you. Take all my money. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, no, that's not it. You gotta love yourself too. You know what I'm saying? And take
Right.
care of yourself first. So I just want to make sure I
Exactly.
put that message out there.
Like, well, I whoop your ass with all the love that I could muster. You know what I mean? So don't get it crossed. Oh man, and there was another point. First and foremost, thank everybody for who's still tuning in, and thank you, Mr. Quan Tan. He has a birthday coming up soon. I'm gonna go ahead and give him his early praises. Happy birthday!
Oh,
Uh,
yes, sir.
you
Leo
know what I'm
season
saying?
is here, man.
We here, baby. We here. I don't even know what I'm doing for me. I
uh,
might just chill. I need a break, maybe. I don't know, but we'll see. But
I
thank
know
you
that's right.
for your insights. He says, read this comment. He says, this is a great session, fellas. Been here the whole time and y'all have cooked. Loving versus lovable. Able to be loved. That speaks to vulnerability, having qualities
Mhm.
others would love, and that's deep. And that's what we're talking about is like you don't have to have this shelter at all times. We build barriers for protection, but there's a difference between barriers and boundaries. And hey, I got a video on that too. Y'all go check out the content. But I wanted to bring this up. I heard you speak a few times throughout this session, Paulie, about fear, but you told me that is fear is not actually a bad thing. It's a difference between being fear and being scared. Can you tell us about that?
Mm, man, I think fear is put there to protect us when I
Mm.
think about it. Um, like if you didn't have a fear, you might just walk off the side of a building. You know what I'm saying? Fall to your death. Because you ain't fearing nothing. You like, oh, let me just walk over. Let me see if I can walk over there and just walk. You know what I'm saying? And just fall to your death. So
Mm.
I think fear is a uh I forgot the word I use, but it's basically there to protect you, right?
Right. It's
It's a
instinctual.
difference between being fear, fear, having fear, and being scared. Scared is when people a lot of times freeze up and tense up. Fear is all right. Let's take a deeper look at this
Hmm.
because this could be something that's dangerous.
Right.
So when you think about fear, sometimes like if you walk and you see a lion in front of you, you're probably gonna have fear, and then your fear is gonna tell you, "Dang, do I need to run? Do I need to try to fight? What do I need to do?" Scared is like, "Oh my God, it's a lion. I don't know what to do," and you just stand there and you just don't make any action. And what
Yeah.
Winston Churchill said, the worst action is inaction. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to
Yes.
be able to make a decision. And a lot of times when people are scared, they can't make a decision. Some people are scared to leave their job, so they just stay there. But if you realize, like, yo, I have a fear of leaving the job, well, what am I afraid of when it comes to the job? Oh, I don't know how I'm gonna pay my bills. Well, if I did this, this, and this, and this, I'll be able to pay my bills. And now you got a plan together. And now the next step is with the fear, overcoming it,
Mm.
overcoming the fear. Because now you realize what you're afraid of. Because a lot of times we really don't know what we're afraid of. You know what
Boom.
I'm saying? A lot of times we say, "Oh, I'm afraid of my woman leaving me." Is that what it is, or are you afraid to be alone? Are you afraid
Mm.
of the fact that her leaving you is going to make you feel unworthy? You know what I'm saying? You got to figure out what the real fear is, so then you can figure it out in your head, and then figure out a way to overcome it. Whereas when you scared, the way I think about scared is somebody that just gets stuck. You
Mm.
just get stuck. You can't move. You can't make a decision. You just there because you let the fear paralyze you instead of acknowledging the fear. Like, okay, I do have a fear of this. Now that I realize I got the fear, what is it exactly that I'm afraid of, and then how can I overcome it? And so
Sweet.
when we had discussed fear, it was the premise of fear is good because that's how you learn to be fearless or
Mm.
overcome the fear. Like that's how you build up that resiliency muscle. That's how you build your discipline. That's how you build character is overcoming your fears. If we didn't have fears, man, it'd be a lot of stuff, man, that wouldn't have got accomplished in society. It'd be
Mm.
you think about civil rights and stuff moving, man. The people had a lot to be afraid of, and I know they had fears, but they went and attacked it, and they moved fearless and relentlessly. And
Mm.
that's the mindset that I'm trying to cultivate in myself and also in my daughter as well. Is you know, I remember we go to the jumping gym, and she got hit in the face with the dodgeballs in the pit. And then she
Yeah.
like, "Dang, I don't want to go back in there." I like, "Well, what are you afraid of?" She was like, "I'm gonna get hit in the face again." I was like, "Did it hurt?" She was like, "A little bit." I was like, "Did it hurt, or was you more embarrassed that you got hit?" She like, "More embarrassed." And I'm like, "Why you embarrassed? Everybody get hit in the face when you play dodgeball." You know what I'm saying? I like, "Sit over here." And then sure enough, like 5 minutes later, another kid got hit in the face. I like, "Look, he just get up and run." She like, "Okay." Now she headhunting these people. You know what I'm saying? She be out there. I be having to tell her to chill out sometimes. She be out there chasing the little boys and stuff around with those the ball. Like it's crazy, man. But just learning how to cultivate having a fearless, and when I say fearless, not being avoided of fear, but
Hmm.
uh overcoming that fear, just working on that mentality, and also realize what are you being afraid of, and is the fear valid? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Is that a valid fear to have? Oh, there goes the study rooms in 15 minutes. I'm in the library.
Yes, yes, yes. To also add to that point, fear is a great motivator, if not one of the main motivators of action. It isn't until you feel something that you got to make a move, right? We all know those times that we come across when we need to make a change. Something needs to happen, but we'll let it go on and keep on going until we feel enough of that fear, that pressure to, hey, if I don't make a move, what I fear most is going to happen, right? So
Yep.
fear is a great motivator. Don't be afraid to feel fear, because fear is one of our instinctual feelings that tells us what to protect, when to move. Fear sparks the adrenaline for us to be able to do and act in the moment. You right? You want to be able to secure the premises, your family, get out of the way. Uh, all of that, man. It triggers exactly what you need. So don't be afraid of fear, but don't get so scared where you stuck in fear that it paralyzes you. And there are people who are elders now who are still stuck
Yep.
and scared. You know what I mean? So we ain't gonna be one of those.
Absolutely not.
So my man, Mr. Paul DeBerry, always all love. Before we head out here, it's been a great session, man. Before we head out here, I'm going to ask you, what is your call to action for the audience? What do you want the audience to leave from this live tonight with?
Man, learning to love yourself, love others, and the biggest thing, man, is getting that sense of community back. I can't state it enough, man.
Mm,
How much in the black community, man, we need to start coming together, utilizing our resources, our strengths, and figuring out how to uplift us. Not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, all of that stuff. So, is getting back to community, loving yourself, loving others. And then the other call to action is, whether you do something on your own, you got another nonprofit or a place that you volunteer, or you want to come through us. If you would like to come through us, we're always looking for more volunteers for some of our activities and everything that we got going on. As far as our elder outreach stuff, youth programs that we getting back into and getting back started in our weekly events. So we always looking for more volunteers, uh, donations. Any nonprofit, they run off
mm,
of donations and grants. So the links and everything is down at the bottom. You could click on those to figure out how to donate to us. We got Linktree where you could donate Cash App, and then we also got a for all of my nonprofit or business owners. It's a dope website called Zephy, where you
mm.
can set up monthly reoccurring donations and things like that as well. That link is down there in the link tree. So we run off of donations, grants, everything like that, and we just really focus on the funding aspect and also expansion. Like we working. If somebody's like a chef or something, or got a food pantry, I would love to connect with you as well because we give out the food like Trey had mentioned earlier. I'm working on some things where we might be partnering up with a local garden in the Richmond, Virginia area where we might start doing like food donations and everything as well. So we got a lot of stuff. And the last part is because we got so much stuff, y'all make sure y'all follow me. Like I said, the links and everything is down at the bottom. Follow Rebuilding Men. Also got my personal link down there. You can keep up with me as well. But follow me for updates and things going on with Rebuilding Men and all the expansions and the great things that we got going on in the community. I'm just excited about the direction that we headed in. I'm excited about this guy right here, man. All the stuff he got going on and these power people and I'm just excited about everything that's going on right now. I think it's a great movement. It might seem tough, and it might be hard to see through all the, the controversy and the division that gets pushed. But me personally, I see a lot of great grassroots nonprofits and organizations that are doing great work in the community, and that's working on or working towards bettering our communities as well. So I wanted to give a shout out to all the nonprofits and all of the all the business owners and everybody out there, man. If you woke up, you got another chance to go out
Mm,
here and chase your dreams and do the things that you need to do. You got another opportunity to turn your life around. So I
mm.
just want to leave that last message out there for everybody.
Come on, man. Love, 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 man. Listen, we appreciate you for giving us a chunk of your time tonight, Mr. Paul DeBerry. This will not be the last time you have seen this guy. Uh, I featured on King of DeBerry's podcast. He's been on the FMF podcast, and he's also been on Aim Always Improving the Mind. Check out the playlist we got called Power People. It will show a video that we did about the correlation between money and mental health.
Uh,
Very, very important.
Man, I have a
Um,
dope shirt on that episode too, man. I like that shirt too. I think I
yeah,
still
man.
got it, man. I might gotta put that on the Thursday, yeah.
It was oh, yo, Miami Vice, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah, boss. Yeah. So yeah, man. Highly appreciate you. Thank you for giving us your time. Once again, we're gonna give the claps to Mr. Paul DeBerry.
Hey, Trey, can you do me a favor?
What's up?
Can you do another clap for yourself, please, man? We got to clap it up for Mr. Trayvon Pratt as well, too, man, for providing this platform. Thank you, man. I always appreciate you for giving me a space to be able to share what I'm doing and man, your progress. And he is actually a big motivator in the the rebuilding men and all the connections that a lot of the connections that I have because he used to do the group meetings in person as well too. And I met some dope people. Shout out brother Robert Utley from the
Yeah.
previous episode, man. I got a chance to connect with him through there and other great people. So man, I gotta definitely give a shout out to Trey for being that connector and that inspiration on how rebuilding men got to this level as well too.
Man, I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you, man. I love you, Paulie. I
I love you
love you,
too,
bro.
man.
And I thank you for all that you're doing. You're a great inspiration out here. Keep doing all of what you do for the community. Please keep me plugged in any way I can help. You already know we contacted, we locked in. And yes, man, if there's anything else you'd like to say before we head out.
Man, yo, man, y'all keep striving out here, man. Just keep striving to be better. My little thing is, yo, just try to be 1% better every day. You end up about 36, 37 times better than you was the previous year. So just focus
Mm,
on being a little bit better every single day and watch how that changes your life around.
boom. Let that compound.
Compound interest, baby.
That's it,
Yeah,
man.
work same way, same thing work in finances too, by the way, too.
Them little 10 to $50, they add up, don't it?
Yo, man, let me tell you something. Just stay consistent. That's what it's about, consistency too.
Mm, yes, sir. Well, I thank you, Mr. Paulie DeBerry.
Thank you,
And
man.
man,
Appreciate you.
as always, love, bro.
All right, man. Peace, y'all.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let me tell y'all, man, I felt all of the power from that. Yes, please go and tap in with my guest, Mr. Paul DeBerry, with the nonprofit Rebuilding Men for all of the things that you could do. You could volunteer. They got some of the projects. There's different things, so if you have any special skills, a certain skill set, certain you're handsy, you could do manual labor. We got projects over there, but from landscaping to housework, and plumbing, electrician, whatever. We're doing all of these types of things for the community. If you're uh, able to and you're willing to, please contact Mr. DeBerry. Contact will be in the description. Um, Also, try to come out to one of these meetings, the co-ed night out. They have a ball, man. I've had a ball going out. I suggested a few places. We'll see if they come up on the list, and we just have a good time, man. Um, all of the meetings are dope. And not to mention, he's the financial coach. Mr. Paul DeBerry, I can be transparent now because I'm not that person anymore. One of the things that could be so frightful is not knowing your budget, not knowing where your money stands. So you become check to check. You become frightful to even open the bank account because I don't even want to know how much I got left. You keep it in your head like, okay, I had X, I spent X, so I should have this amount left. And then you finally look at it and then like, I'm I'm in the red. I've been that person. So he was somebody who helped me with budgeting. He was somebody who helped me with my mentality when it came to finances. Um, even though even though I'm confident in making more money, I had to learn more financial literacy to be able to do better with the money that I made. Hello? And I'm like I said, I'm doing quite well. I'm still learning. I'm still got my feet. I got my feet wet, but I'm still just jumping off of the porch. But I do have things in place like life insurance, investments, and these types of things are rolling. I have savings. I have a financial plan, right? And that's another thing that could be frightful for relationships, especially for the men, is uh, if you're not together on finances in your relationship, you're 5 times more likely for the relationship not to work, for it to break up or to be a divorce. It doesn't matter how much, if y'all not on the same page, if y'all not able to communicate finances, then that's when it's a problem, right? So I had to learn all of these things. And now I'm steady learning. I'm always improving. But it wasn't until I got with Mr. Paul DeBerry where I was confident enough to be able to actually take a look at all of these things, write my stuff out, see where I'm lacking, see what I could do, see where I could cut back, see where I could add more, see what else I could do. How could I move? How could I solve this issue? And I just I just tip my hat off towards Mr. Paul DeBerry for that because, hey, if he helped me, he can definitely help you. So if you have any questions about life insurance, if you have any questions about anything pertaining to finances, he has different methods and stuff to get you out of debt, uh, credit usage, all types of things in the financial realm, uh, digital currency, cryptocurrency, um, all of these things, man. He just has this vast knowledge. He told me about the rule of 72, the banker's rule, compounding interest, Fed exchange rate. I mean, yo, different types of savings accounts. Like I learned so much just from talking to my guy. You feel me? Just from listening to what he had to say about the subject of finances. So I highly recommend if you have any financial questions, reach out to him. Any uh any inquiries about rebuilding men, just reach out to him. And like as you can hear from his story, he's been through enough and learned enough to where he's just an asset to be able to have in your phone, just somebody that you can contact, maybe just to say what's up. You don't even realize, like I say, you can't have community without communication. You don't even realize that you got something to offer. You don't even realize that you have, a skill that can be utilized. You don't even realize your own greatness sometimes until somebody else is, hey, I could use that. Like, hey, you are awesome. You can actually, you know, I'm telling you, man, Get with Mr. Paul DeBerry. I can go on and on because that's my bro. Much love to everybody who has attended this live and is still here. Until the next time. Oh, and if you want to be a guest on this Power People Live, contact me. Reach out, comment, hit me on Instagram, Facebook. Uh, if you have my number, reach out to me. Email, all of the above. I would love to talk to you to get you up here on this platform to share your greatness as well. Because you are a people, man. Everybody got some power to them. So much love to everybody. Until the next time, peace.